Today's society is built around instant gratification. You can buy something on Amazon in the morning and have it delivered to your doorstep by tonight. If you don't like your body, you can pay to have it redone. You can fix almost anything instantly. And money can buy you a lot, but the number one thing that it can't buy you is your mindset. And if you can reprogram yourself to learn how to enjoy the slow burn, you can have anything you want. Welcome back to another episode of How She Does It. Today, I want to talk about the most powerful thing you can do, which is mastering your mindset. Now, there's two major components to this, and I want to break it down with you. Because once you get this, you are honestly unstoppable. Mastering your confidence and mastering your discipline. The one thing that I've really improved on over the past couple of years is my discipline. To me, there's two types of people and how you can change your life and switch your mindset. The people that can do it cold turkey and the people that have to implement habits over time. I'm the cold turkey kind of person. If I want to be vegan, I'm vegan tomorrow. I can't wait and take out things slowly out of my diet until 6 months down the road, I'm completely vegan. That might work for some people. For me, that's not my path. But building discipline starts with retraining your brain. When I was younger, I was on a track team in my hometown and I was a sprinter. And at my school, we had these long distance runs. And I really wanted to be one of the long distance runners, but I could never build up the endurance to do that until when I was in my early 20s and I got back into working out again. And running started to become my outlet when I was 22, 23 years old. And I had to train myself to become a distance runner because what am I going to do? Sprint every day at the gym? So I hopped on the treadmill and every time I thought a negative thought I can't do this, this is too hard, I'm too out of shape, I added 5 minutes to my time and I would not allow myself to get off the treadmill until it was completed. My negative attitude shut up real quick when I started doing that. Imagine every time you're working out, if you think, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, you add to your time, you add to your weight. What you're doing in that situation is proving with your body that your thoughts do not determine your actions. One, I don't want to work out for 8 million hours in a row. If I keep having those negative thoughts, that's what I would have had to do. I would have kept having to add 5 more minutes and 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes to my workout time. Who can do that? I cut those negative thoughts right off at the knees. Retrain your brain. A game-changing piece of advice I received a couple years ago was not every thought that you think is your own. Your mind as a human is literally programmed to think of the worst-case scenario in order to protect yourself. But with evolution, we do not need to be scared of getting eaten by a mountain lion every single day. But our brains have not yet caught up to the fact that we are safe. So it's our role to retrain our thinking to think positive thoughts every single day. That's why the way that you speak to yourself is so important. Even when you're talking to your friends and your family, you know those people who are always like, I'm so unwell when something's happening, or they find something really funny and they say, I'm dead. Your subconscious mind does not know that you're joking. What that creates in your head is a subconscious way of thinking and communicating within your own self. Your body is not smart enough to determine what's real and what's fake. So speaking life into yourself every single day is one of the simplest and most positive changes you can make in your everyday life to live a different reality. Everyone deals with those automatic negative thoughts in your brain, those situations that aren't actually real, but they target the way that you're thinking every single day. But I don't think enough people understand how to combat those thoughts. Everybody that I know has had one of those irrational negative fears. Think about when your boss messages you and asks to connect with you really quickly at the end of the day, and your first thought is, great, I'm getting fired. That's an automatic negative thought. Something I learned a long time ago because I used to have all of these automatic negative thoughts that would just infiltrate my brain and ruin my day. Thinking you're going to get fired is not fun. Okay? Thinking that your boss is mad at you or whatever when that's not actually the reality that you're living can be mentally and emotionally exhausting. So instead, a game-changing method is the CBT thought method. Walk yourself through all of these steps to understand if this is a real threat to you or if your brain is playing tricks on you. So let's take the fear of getting fired, right? First, you want to go into the situation. What actually happened? Okay, your boss messaged you and pinged you on Slack and said, hey, can we connect for 15 minutes at the end of the day? The automatic negative thought is, great, I'm getting canned at 4:45 p.m. on a Thursday. Then you go through your emotions. Okay, I'm feeling scared. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. And then you want to really dive into what evidence actually supports my negative thought. What evidence supports that I'm going to get fired today at 4:45 p.m.? Okay, the fact that my boss messaged me? Go through the evidence that would actually support that negative thought being true. And then you want to walk through the evidence that's against that being true. So I've been employed here for over a year. I consistently hit my quota. I just got an award last quarter. Whatever those are. And then you want to walk through an alternative thought and your current mood. Once you've pieced all of that together, you can really look at it holistically and say, okay, I'm probably overreacting here. There's not much evidence to support my negative thought, But there is a lot of evidence to support that I'm just being irrational. My brain is playing a trick on me. Once you do that method enough, it becomes a natural practice for you. So what happens is when your brain goes to that thought, you can work your way through those steps so quickly to calm yourself down and realize, okay, this thought is not mine, so that you don't have to stay in that state for very long and retrain your brain. Now, part of creating unshakable confidence within yourself is becoming ruthless about the path that you're going to take in order to achieve your plan A. Forget about a plan B, forget about a plan C, throw it out the door. You don't become confident in what you're doing if you have fallback options. Now, what I think is really important is being willing to pivot in order to get to plan A, because lots of things can happen in life. So being willing to shift on how you get there is really important to be malleable in this life, in this world, but plan B's never served anybody. There's a secret about confidence that nobody talks about, and it's the fact that I honestly think sometimes you are your biggest hater. That's why we work to retrain your brain, because you have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, because other people will come in the picture and try to drag you down. But if you are cemented in your plan and you are cemented in your vision, there's nothing that can tear you away from your purpose. Every time I start something new, I have imposter syndrome when I first start. Those thoughts that infiltrate your mind. Who do I think I am? Can I do this again? Is this worth my time and energy? Am I going to look stupid? Those are all normal things to think. And especially when you're in an online world and you're putting things out there for strangers to see, it can make you really vulnerable to criticism. Building up your confidence and pouring into yourself to make yourself become unshakable in what you're doing is the number one most important thing that you can do, because you're going to have doubters along the way. You're going to have family, you're going to have friends. Maybe they don't say it to your face. Maybe they're talking behind your back. Who knows? But you're going to have people who don't believe in you. Especially when you're doing something worthwhile, you're going to have people who are not positive about the path that you're taking. And that's okay. They're not your people. Anyone who has doubted you along your journey, give them a front row seat to your success. You know, when people say that they're nervous to go up on stage or they're nervous to public speak, and there's this whole philosophy around picturing the audience in their underwear. Every time someone doubts you, visualize putting them in the front row seat for the show of your life. People say, wait, save those seats for your family and friends. They should get a front row seat. No, real family and real friends are behind the scenes. They have a backstage pass. They have access that nobody else does. And non-believers get to witness up close, personally, what they said you could not do. That's how I reframe my thinking. Any negative comment that I get, front row seat. You turn hate into fuel. Instead of giving them water to throw on your fire, hand them a can of gasoline. Burn brighter. It doesn't matter what anyone says at that point. When you picture everybody who's done you wrong, everybody who's doubted you sitting in the front row seat and you're sitting on stage and all your successes are playing in the background, that is how you fuel yourself in those moments to keep going. When the people closest to you try to bring you down and you revoke their backstage pass and you put them in the front row, that's how you burn brighter. That's how you keep going. By understanding that not a single person's opinion matters more than your own. By understanding that your discipline is what's going to get you places, and nobody can take that from you. You're not Amazon priming your mindset. You're working for it. You earned it. And when you spend time over years, it's yours and yours alone because you worked for it. And that feeling is worth $1 billion. Because these strategies, they come and go. The way you make money today might not be the way you make money tomorrow. But if you have that discipline, if you have that drive, you will be successful no matter what you do. Nobody can take that from you. Imagine how great that feels when you have years, decades of pouring into yourself. People don't do that. You have skills that people can't take from you. You become bulletproof to this world. The one thing that being a parent has taught me is that it's our job to prepare our children. And when we have kids, we look at them for like this developmental 18 years, right? Where we think, okay, how can I equip you? What are all the skills that I can pour into you for these next 18 years in order to set you off into this world so that you can be a competent and capable human? But where I think that we go wrong is we forget that after 18, when we're off on our own in the world, yes, we may still have our parents, but what are we taking and what are we learning? And how are we putting in the developmental checkpoints for ourselves? I had an app on my phone when my daughter was really little that measured the milestones. How should her motor skills be developing? When should she be walking? We have all of those checkpoints for babies. Where's that checkpoint for a 30-year-old? Where should your emotional EQ be at 30? What about 45, 50? We stop having those developmental checkpoints, and that's how we stop growing. I refuse to accept that there are no developmental milestones that I need to be reaching. The conventional world is not going to spill that out for you. Why? Because they want to create workers. I don't want to be a worker. I want to be an owner. I want to have wealth. I want to be free. I know you do too. Shifting your mindset, rejecting the instant gratification, and training yourself to be comfortable sitting in discomfort is going to give you a toolbox that not everybody has, but you have to be willing to work for it. If you pay really close attention to all those speakers that are getting paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to speak for 30 minutes to an audience, they all say it. I can give away all of this information for free because none of you guys are going to do it. I wish I could go up and shake some of those people in the hand and say, not me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to implement all of those strategies. And I'm going to watch my life go like this because I refuse to confine to whatever's out there. That's not the life that I'm going to live. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about peace and happiness, true growth. If you're doing it for money, you're doing it for the wrong thing. It needs to be for something deeper, something bigger. And as a woman walking in this world, so many people are going to automatically take from you. Just because you're you, they're going to take your time, your attention, your resources, your labor, easily too. You want to know what they can't take? Your mindset. They can't take that from you. Years ago, I went through a really bad depressive episode. It lasted probably a year. And I remember sitting on the bathroom floor, just thinking, why? Why me? What more can I give? And it was the hardest time in my life. And I remember sitting there and thinking, people are going to take anything from you, anything, whether you let them or not. What they can't take from me is my mindset, my ability to get up and keep fighting. That's something I'll guard forever. It is the most important thing to me. And because I've been there and I've been at that low point where arguably you think that you cannot come back from, when it truly feels like the depths of hell and there's nothing that's going to bring you out, your mindset will. Even if you're in that place right now, I want you to understand that you can work from it and you can crawl yourself out of that space. You crawl until you walk until you can run, and then you run and no one can stop you. Fuel yourself with the knowledge that you can do it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Not your friends, not your family, not your partner. I don't care if your kids tell you you can't do it. Yes, you can. And it's not that I don't think that support is important. I definitely do. And it's so important to choose your circle wisely, to let people in. But the only person you need is you. And when you have that, when you have yourself, anything breaking down, your relationship, your friendships, it won't stop you. It might slow you down for a second, and that's okay. But you will become unstoppable. And I want that for you. I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope today gave you the key to unlock that confidence within yourself. Because truly, if you can master the art of believing in yourself and enjoying the slow burn, you'll paint a beautiful picture. And I'll see you next time.